The Phillies and Mets have seen a lot of each other over the past 4 days. 48 innings, 1,039 minutes, over 1,000 baseballs, 343 at-bats, and 1,534 pitches. Some nights it only takes one swing to send you home with a win. Other nights, luck just isn't on your side. Tonight is Game 5 of the series and another chance for a win. So I hope you sat home the last 24 hours thinking about what kind of rally cap you could put together for the end of tonight's ball game. It's the final game of this 5-game series. It's been a long series between the Phils and the New York Mets. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. We talked at the beginning of this homestand how important it was for the Phillies to have a good win-loss record by the time we reach tonight's ball game. Well, they don't have a good win-loss record as we reach tonight's ball game, Matt.
No, and unfortunately, you come back from Miami, and you're thinking, okay, we have 11 games. We have a good chance to get back in this race and beat the teams that we need to beat and get in top of the division. To me, throughout the whole homestand, we've had some chances to win some games, but the bottom line is that our offense hasn't come through in the clutch. Bullpen has been outstanding. The starting pitching has given us a chance to win games. We're not getting bunts down. We're running through cutoffs. We're not hitting the cutoffs. We're running through the bases when we shouldn't be. And we talked about in spring training fundamental baseball, and right now that's the reason why they're having a losing record. This homestand is because of fundamental baseball. And
it's remarkable that it seems to be a different piece of the fundamentals each and every game. All right, tonight the Phillies will wrap up this series, and they'll take on veteran Bartolo Colon. Yeah, that guy is still pitching in the big leagues.
Well, it's amazing. I had a chance to face him in 1997 when he first came up. One thing you're going to see about him in all these highlights right here, he throws fastball after fastball. He thinks locating the fastball is the most important thing. And he'll throw a fastball until you make the adjustment and hit his fastball. Then he'll mix in a slider or changeup once in a while. But from 1997 to 2014, his style has not changed. He's played with a lot of teams. He's had some very good years. He's very reliable. He'll get you deep into a game. But you'll see tonight, 85% of the pitches he throws are fastballs.
Well, he won a Cy Young Award with the Anaheim Angels. His career took a turn the other way, but the last several seasons, he's been back where he was at the beginning with the Cleveland Indians. So it is Game 5 of this series between the Phils and the New York Mets. Bartolo Colon is 11th start. Roberto Hernandez is making his 10th start of the season. So admit it, throughout this series, you've been looking at the clock a light. You've been talking about time of game and all the pitches that have been thrown. Well, it comes to an end tonight. Game 5 is up next. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. By Citizens Bank, introducing One Deposit Checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. The Phillies and the New York Mets. Roberto Hernandez is already getting himself ready to go for tonight's ball game. It's all 5 starters getting a chance to work against the Mets. Let's take a look at the Mets starting lineup for tonight. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off in center field, Matt Dendecker. Daniel Murphy, the second baseman, bats second. David Wright, third, followed by Curtis Granderson and Bobby Abreu. Lucas Dudas at first base. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh is Wilmer Flores. Travis d'Arnaud will hit eighth. Bartolo Colon ninth. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Roberto Hernandez. Matt 2-2 with an ERA of 3.76. This will be his 10th start. He's done a decent job for the Phillies. He's battled during games where he just hasn't had the command he would like.
Well, he has. He's gone through some periods where he's thrown a lot of pitches and a lot of balls. But the thing is that he's keeping these guys in the game and giving them a chance. And one thing you're going to see from him tonight, 90 to 94 mile an hour fastball, 2-pitch pitcher, but he's starting to mix in the slider a little bit. And the last time he pitched against the Mets was May 9th, and he gave up 1 run in 5 innings.
So he'll go to work against Matt Dendecker to start this off. Dendecker was demoted yesterday by the Mets, but never left town. And then was added back to the roster today. And the first pitch is in there, so we're underway. It's 0-1. Juan Lagares was placed on the disabled list with a strain to his right rib cage. Ground ball right side. Ryan Howard is there, and he'll take it to the bag himself. 1 out. All right, Matt, it's time now for the Nissan keys to tonight's ball game.
Well, one thing you're going to get tonight is a lot of fastballs, so be prepared to hit the fastball. And Hernandez needs to go deep in this game to give a very tired bullpen some timely resting.
Yesterday, Cole Hamels went deep into the game. He went 7 innings, allowed 1 earned run, but the Phillies wound up losing the ball game in 11, and they're now 1-7 in Cole's starts this year. Daniel Murphy is played every day in this series. He's 1 for 19 with 4 walks and 4 strikeouts. A little high, 1-0. Murphy's played every inning of every game so far for the Mets. David Wright, the on-deck batter, the same. Chase Utley at second base. Well, good start for Hernandez, who needs to get ground balls. 2 batters, 2 groundouts. And now David Wright will be the hitter. In those 22 at-bats that Wright has had this series, he has struck out 6 times. He leads the National League in hits with 70. This is only his 3rd career at-bat against Roberto Hernandez. And Hernandez starts him off with a pitch that just missed. Your sinker ball pitcher, you want that pitch if he's not going to take a swing at it.
Well, apparently it must have been just off the plate, but it was a very good pitch. And the first 2 hitters had late movement, getting the weak ground balls. And you're right, Tom. He wants to stay down that area and get those weak ground balls.
Off the hands, Howard will give it a look over on the first base side, and it is out of play. During the 2014 season, Turkey Hill, the official ice cream in the Phillies, will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Temperatures were in the close to the mid-80s today in Philadelphia. Change up inside, 2-1. Splash of ice cream wouldn't be too bad on a day like this. Wright chops it to third. Backing up on it is Brignac. So 3 groundouts in a row, and Roberto Hernandez throws an 8-pitch top of the first inning. We go to the bottom of the first. Bartolo Colon will head to the mound against the Phillies. For the first, let's see how he's going to attack the Mets today. The lineup is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading off at center field, Ben Revere. Cesar Hernandez will bat second. Chase Utley third, followed by Ryan Howard and Marlon Byrd. Carlos Ruiz does the catching in the bottom third of Brown, Brignac, and Hernandez. They'll face right-hander Bartolo Colon, who is 41 years of age. 4-5, an ERA of 4.73.
He's been around for quite a while, that's for sure. 1997 made his debut, and he has not changed over his career. One thing he does is he throws a lot of strikes, a lot of fastballs, tops out about 92 miles an hour, but will average about 89. Has a changeup and a slider's more like a little cutter. When guys start squaring the fastball up, then he'll start doing the little lane changer we call for the cutter.
5'11", 285 pounds, and the first pitch of the night is in there for a strike. It's 0-1. The fastball was at 88 miles per hour. Ben Revere has hit in 7 consecutive games. He's hitting .340 on this homestand. You kind of forget about that because of the issues he's had on a couple different occasions trying to lay down a bunt. 1 ball, 1 strike to Revere. Chopper left side. Flores takes the big hop. Low throw dug out by Duda. 1 out. So 3 pitches to get the first batter, and here's Cesar Hernandez. Bartolo Colon from 97 to 2008 was one of the best pitchers in baseball, truly. He had 139 wins and 82 losses. He won the Cy Young in 2005. Then in 06, 07, 08, and 09, 4 years, as Hernandez lays down a bunt and it rolls foul. He was 14-21 with an earned run average of 5.18. He was no longer the workhorse that he had been from 97 to 2008. Injuries, arm problems. So we take a look at our Mazda leaders. He's got 193 wins. He's among the active leaders in baseball, along with A.J. Burnett.
And honestly, 193 wins is a silent 193 wins because you really don't hear a lot about him
lately.
Right, exactly. I mean, early in his career when he came up, he was just an unbelievable fastball pitcher, upper 90s, dominating with basically with 1 pitch.
He's ahead 1-2 to Cesar Hernandez. Hernandez is 1 for 4 in this series and 3 for 26 on the homestand. Outside, 2-2. Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Frank Dworecki of Philadelphia. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game, then Frank will win $100. Two-seamer, and he's down looking. 2 outs. So 2 up, 2 down, and here's Chase Utley.
This is that front door sinker that freezes them. Nice pitch, but it's amazing. All of a sudden, we're 8 pitches into the game, 8 fastballs already.
Yeah, he hasn't broken anything off, but he's varied his fastball from 87 to 92. 92 was the highest one that he threw. Chase Utley's the hitter. Utley is 2 for 15 in the series. He did not play yesterday. Yeah, the first pitch is on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Chase at .320 with 4 homers and 27 runs batted in. That one's out toward right center field. On the run is Abreu, and he'll get there, and he makes the catch. And the side is retired. So Utley drove it a pretty good ways, but Phillies go down in order. So Roberto will toss his drink aside and head back to the mound.
All fastballs.
Park. Curtis Granderson will lead it off against Roberto Hernandez. Our Geico quote of the day comes from Terry Collins on winning extra inning games. We're getting tired. They're good games to win. It lifts the spirits. It does keep the energy up, even though you know you're tired. It sure beats sitting there saying, I hope it doesn't happen again tomorrow, when you know you can win these kinds of games. Well, 3 straight extra inning ball games between the Phillies and the Mets, and all 3 were truly up for grabs. There were opportunities. Seems like there was more opportunities for the Phillies to score than there were the Mets to score, particularly in yesterday's game and the game the day before. Curtis Granderson takes outside. It's 2-0.
Well, the Mets couldn't have been too tired today, because when I came in at about 2:15, they were out there taking early batting practice today.
So they took early BP, and then they only had a handful of guys taking regular BP, it seems.
So batting practice is probably your option. Guys are probably getting there early, taking some swings, and grabbing some rest before the game.
Well, the last time 3 teams played 3 straight extra inning games, or 2 teams played 3 straight extra inning games, was back in 1991. As Hernandez throws a changeup, but it's 2-2. That was the Mariners and the Blue Jays. They played 34 innings in 3 days. The Phillies and Mets played 39 innings in their 3 extra inning games. Out toward right field. Hit it off the end of the bat, so Marlon Byrd is out there, and he makes the catch for the first out. Bobby Abreu's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, you're talking about, having to shuffle things around because of the amount of innings that this team has played. Both teams have played over the last couple of days. And Ryan Sandberg changing his lineup a little bit. He's got Cesar Hernandez at shortstop today. Reed Brignac still at third base. And he wanted to get Jimmy Rollins off of his feet. Jimmy's only had about 2 days off all season. And he said, it was time. He needs to give these guys a break. He gave Chase Utley a break yesterday afternoon. And he said he's got to give Marlon Byrd a break one of these days, too. He has yet to have a day off. So with all of these innings piling up, you're seeing some changes in Ryan Sandberg's lineup. And the reason he has Cesar Hernandez at shortstop, he said, is he just thinks he has better range out there than Reed, because they can both play both positions. But he thought Hernandez was a better fit at shortstop and keep Brignac over there at third. Yeah,
there were decent reports about Cesar Hernandez playing shortstop down in the minor leagues. They got better as his repetitions got better down in the minor leagues. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bobby Abreu, who is 5 for 11 in this series. Outside, and it's 2-1. Terry Collins said about Bobby Abreu playing in tonight's ball game, and even playing the other day. He said, I think we owed it to the pitchers to keep him in. And he wasn't talking about Bobby's defense. There was a time where Bobby was a decent outfielder, but it's been a while since he would be considered a Gold Glover, obviously. But he meant it more for his offense and the at-bats that he has had. And he has had some very good at-bats during this series.
And the way Bobby approaches the game, really surprised that he hasn't been in Oakland A's for quite a while. They like that type of player who can work the count, doesn't swing early, very patient up there when he takes at bats, and he's just a typical Oakland A player, really.
Even though his playing time has been pared down from where it was when he was, with the Phillies and with the Yankees and even with the Angels at one point, his approach is exactly the same. Even here, it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. And he lines one down the right field line over toward the corner. It is a fair ball right off the Stroman sign. Abreu on his way to second. The throw not in time. Now that's his second double of the series and his 7th overall. Should say his 3rd double.
Chooch wanted the ball away, and it was pulled down inside, and still has that nice easy swing, and the ball hits the base of the wall. Very fortunate that you got the ballpark, because that's the area where the lefties like it, down and in.
Well, it's now 2,454 hits for Bobby Abreu during his career. Now Lucas Duda. Duda had the game-winning home run in yesterday's game. 4 for 14 so far in this series. And he takes on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Duda did not start yesterday's ball game, but certainly did finish it for the Mets. They try to go to the same spot, but he missed inside. 1-1. Philippe Almont, who was in the middle right there next to Justin DeFreitas and Rod Nichols. I should say between Justin DeFreitas and Rod Nichols. Gave up that home run.
Tried to throw a sinker low and away, stayed it over the plate, and that ball got out in a hurry.
Yeah, that was over 400 feet over the State Farm sign in center. 2 balls and 1 strike to Duda. Over to right field again. Marlon Byrd on the way back, and that one is off the wall. Bobby Abreu got a late start. The throw goes to second, and he'll score. It's back-to-back doubles, and it's 1-0 New York. Well, after a very crisp first inning, Roberto Hernandez has run into a little bit of trouble here in the second.
Well, we talk about location. You can see Chooch wants that ball in, and it's up in the zone, comes back over the middle of the plate, and it actually sounded like the bat was broken on the point of contact. But as you can see at the very top of the wall, and stays in and keeps him to a double.
It's just like the Abreu one when you said they were fortunate it didn't go out of the yard. Same thing with that one.
Yeah.
Wilmer Flores is now up. Flores has 6 at-bats in this series. He's 1 for 6, and he loops one foul over the Phillies dugout. No balls and 1 strike. Pat Hoborg is the home plate umpire tonight. Corey Blazer's at first. Marvin Hudson is at second, and Brian Onora is over at third. Doug Eddings, who was part of this crew for the first 4 games, not working here today. There's a line drive to center, playable for Revere. He makes the catch. Duda tags, and rightfully so. You would expect him to do that. And he's over to third, so there are 2 outs. And Travis d'Arnaud is up for the first time. d'Arnaud has walked 3 times in the series. Twice he's walked intentionally. And they're going to walk him intentionally again. Matt, a lot of times you'll see the pitchers go after the number 8 hitter and see if they can get him and have the pitcher lead off the following inning. Is this a result of the way this series has gone, that they've sort of changed? Because we've seen it before, but we haven't seen it as often as we've seen it the last couple of days.
I think a lot has to do with it. Maybe guys' location. Everyone talks about, wow, now they're going to roll the lineup. Who cares? I'd rather have a fresh start with your leadoff guy coming up. You know, go out there, get Cologne out of here. You're out of the inning, no more harm. Now you rely on a pitcher to go out there and make these pitches where they're going to go out of the zone and maybe swing at a pitch, and all of a sudden you make a mistake. So I have no problems walking the number 8 hitter with 2 outs to get to the pitcher. 0.
Particularly a pitcher that's 0 for 17 on the year with 10 strikeouts.
He could be 10 for 15.
You would still do it.
I would still do it and take my chances.
The first pitch is way outside. It's 1-0. Cologne for his career is an .088 hitter. The Mets pitchers were 0 for 64 to start and 8 for their last 34. Might have helped him out there. 1-1. Bobby Abreu's double in this inning and runs scored has helped the Mets to the early lead. Tapper foul, and now 1-2. Well, he threw 8 pitches in the first and now 24 here in this inning alone. So it remains 2 balls and 2 strikes. 81 degrees at game time. What a perfect day. Gorgeous day. And now 3-2, so Darno will be off and running from first. Well, this would be problematic. Howard playing behind him. Wow. He got a little out in front of that pitch. If he looked into the dugout, he'd see all of his teammates laughing right now.
That's not a bad form, really.
Just a little out front.
Just a little front, but good weight shift.
Well, the first one was 89 that he hit foul. That one was 88. He's out front of it right now. And he's facing Hernandez and his 9th pitch of this at bat. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner goes from first. Swing, miss, he got it. 90-mile-an-hour fastball, first strikeout of the night for Roberto Hernandez. It was an extended at bat. Lucas Duda's RBI doubles made this a 1-0 game as we go to the bottom of the second. Town for their only visit to Citizens Bank Park. Great giveaway on the first night. It's the Pico Chase Utley Bobble figurine that's free to all fans. Thursday, the series winds down with a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. You can purchase tickets anytime by going to Phillies.com. There's Ryan Howard. He's going to lead things off here in the bottom of the second. The Phillies trail at 1-0. Bartolo Colon, much like Roberto Hernandez, had a very easy first inning. Howard is 2 for 2 against Bartolo Colon. Ryan has 14 runs batted in on this homestand.
That's just a great sign right there when you can stay back on the ball and drive that ball over State Farm. It seems like State Farm is a very popular place in the last couple home runs.
Very popular landing spot. First pitch is inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Phillies have out-homered the opposition 11-8 on this homestand. They had only picked up 11 home runs here at home before the homestand. Inside again, and it's 2-0. So those are all fastballs, 87.
Yep. They call it choke fastball. he tightens it a little tighter and takes something off a little bit. And then when he throws the 92-mile-an-hour fastball, it's an easier grip.
All right, so that's the first changeup of the night for Bartolo Colon after 13 pitches or 12 pitches. His 13th was a changeup.
And you notice is in a 2 balls, no strikes count.
Swing and a miss, breaking ball, and it's 2-2. All right, now he's throwing the kitchen sink at Ryan Howard. Toyota Major League Scoreboard, the Rays and Marlins are battling today. Casey McGee's hit a 2-run single to help the Marlins to a 3-0 lead in the bottom of the first. Now the 2-2 pitch to Howard. Down and away, 3-2. Out towards center field. That's pretty well hit. Dendecker's going back. Warning track. Wall. And he jumps. And he makes the catch. He pulled it back and robbed Howard of a home run. 1 gone here in the seconds. Well, that wall was made for outfielders to do just that if they can. And Dendecker certainly could on this one.
Well, the thing is, you get back to the point where he knew the ball was going to be going over. Timed the leap real good. Ryan has a nice swing, drives it to center field. But look how he got back there quick. Jumped up, and you made a great point that fence is perfect for guys to go over. And I think I could even probably jump over that and rob a ball.
It's a perfect fence for you to jump over and rob a ball. Mets fans weren't happy when that ball left the bat of Ryan Howard, and then obviously they turned to celebratory when he was able to pull that one in. Marlon Byrd has hit 5 straight. His average at .278. 8 home runs, 32 runs batted in. Up high, 1 ball, 1 strike. I guess you just let it roll off your back when something like that happens, but that has got to be frustrating.
Well, and hopefully he stays with the same approach. He doesn't think he has to swing a little harder to get it out of the reach of guys jumping. But, you know, it was a slider down and in. He did a nice job of driving to center field, and tip your hat to the guy in center field for making the defensive play. Dendecker.
Well, I think your point about technique, his technique made that look very easy. Not that it's an easy play, but the way he went back, I mean, it's, I guess you would say it's outfield textbook. Because he did make it look easy once he got there.
Well, that's every outfielder's dream is to rob a home run.
Three balls and 2 strikes to Bird, so back-to-back three ball 2 strike counts. Bird has a couple home runs in this series. 1 to left, 1 to right. Yeah, there's ball 4, so he draws a walk. First base runner for the Phillies. Get all of your Philly sports news and scores when you're on the go. Be the first to know breaking news on all of your Philly teams right from your smartphone. Download the free CSN Philly Sports app today. Carlos has hit it 4 straight. He's now 7th in the league in on-base percentage. His on-base percentage is at .403. Up high, 1 ball, no strikes. He's had a good series. He's had a very good homestead. He's 12 for 31. Problem is, a lot of Carlos's at bats and his hits have come with nobody on base.
Kind of interesting to see how good he's been swinging the bat and he's staying where he is in the batting order. We thought maybe he might move up in the 2-hole today, but I guess if you're swinging well, keep him in a spot where he's feeling comfortable right now. Plus, you need to have a little bit of offensive threat down at the bottom of your lineup right now, especially that Brown and it has been swinging the bat real well right now.
3-0 with Bird at first. Hey, Carlos takes all the way. It's 3-1. Dominic Brown does wait on deck for the Phils. Ground ball to third. Doubt they'll get 2. But they do get the lead runner. 5-4 on the putout, and there are 2 outs. Tonight's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. Dominic's average at 205. He has 4 homers and 27 runs batted in. One ball and 1 strike. Once it's sharply toward the hole, scooped up by Flores. And the Phillies are retired here in the second. Well, the Phillies had a chance to tie this ball game up when the first batter, Ryan Howard, sent one deep to center field, but Matt Dendecker went over the fence, high above the fence to pull it in. And we'll go to the third. .com. Go to the fan section for all the information and please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, the question is, and you have no help today from Jamie or Mike, which pitcher holds the Mets single season record for shutouts with 8? Answer will be revealed a little later on in the ball game. go to the top of the third. Matt Dendecker will lead it off. Dendecker grounded out his first time up. Mentioned that Dendecker was optioned out by the Mets yesterday before the ball game because they needed to make a roster move for Dana Evelyn, who didn't get into yesterday's game out of the bullpen. AAA affiliate for the Mets is in Las Vegas. Well, Terry Collins told Dendecker, well, don't go too far, because they weren't sure if they had to put Lagares on the DL. Now, they played Lagares yesterday, and then he had to leave the game, so they put him on the DL, and Dendecker, who was in town just watching the game, they brought him back.
Well, I'm back when Jamie was playing. Notice I didn't say it myself. Jamie, if you were sent down to spring training, it was considered an option. Then you were called back up and sent down during the season. That was considered another option.
Huh. It's different now.
Oh, yeah, it's like a yo-yo.
Then Revere out toward the track makes the catch, 1 out.
I was called up and down in Montreal 4 times one time through the season.
But at that point, I know.
One option.
Okay, because it was.
Because I'm a lot younger than
You're
Jamie.
a lot younger than Jamie is, right. Here's Daniel Murphy. Murphy grounded out his first time up. Mentioned that Murphy's played in every inning of each game so far. David Wright. This is all prior to tonight's ball game. David Wright also played in every inning of every game. Marlon Byrd, Ryan Howard, and before tonight, Jimmy Rollins. But Jimmy has the night off, as Murph said. Ryan Sandberg wanted to get him off his feet at least one day, but he is available to pinch hit. Last year, Murphy wound up playing 161 games for the Mets. He had 286. And the 2-1 pitch to him. Again to Utley's spot. Chase had to move to his left a few strides, and he throws him out 2 away. And that will bring David Wright to the plate. Wright grounded out to third his first time up, so he's 0 for 1.
So there's going to be a lot of players that are glad when this series is over.
Just because of their numbers? Yeah, I don't think there's anybody. The only one that's really torn it up, I mean, statistically, in this series. I mean, Bobby Abreu's had a very good series. Carlos Ruiz has had a very good series. Beyond that, nobody's really lit it on fire.
You got Brown and Howard have 5 RBIs each.
Correct. But Ryan's struck it out 9 times to go along with those 5 RBIs. 2-1 pitch. Over to third. That's a foul ball. Fans, the next time you're looking to pick great seats for a game, head to StubHub, where you can earn 2% back in fan rewards on every purchase, including Phillies tickets. StubHub, your tickets, upgrades, and much more. 2-2 to Wright. Over to third. This one is a foul ball. That's the third base umpire's call as it goes past the bag. Ryan Onora is the crew chief. Well, that's a great camera shot right there because it shows that it was foul. Inside 3-2. Broke his bat. Shallow center field. Long run for Revere, and he makes the catch. The side is retired. Ball was up there for a while, and Ben had to come a long way to track it down. Middle of the third. Brignac, Roberto Hernandez, and Revere when we come back. Pennsylvania Lottery benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. By Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEF now for an appointment. And by the Quality Plus Ford stores. Last of the third, it'll be the bottom of the order for the Phils. Reed Brignac, the number 8 hitter, will start things off. Brignac getting another chance to start over at third base tonight. It'll be Brignac, Roberto Hernandez, and then the top of the order for the Phillies. They trail at 1-0. They've gotten a base runner tonight on a walk, but still looking for their first hit. First pitch is taken outside, 1-0. Brignac is 2 for 13 in this series. He has 8 strikeouts. You know, we saw him in spring training, but man, he has got some authority on his swing. Look at that one right there. He rips it into center field. He takes the same swing all the time. I mean, it's almost like a power hitter swing. Don't you agree with that, Matt?
And I do. And the reason why I agree with it is because he has a power stance. He has a great weight back, hand stays back, keeps his head down, and drives the bat through the zone with authority. And with the balance of his head down concentration, very lucky that ball hit towards the end of the bat. He still hit a line drive to center field, but if he barrels that ball, he's not catching that ball in center field.
He's not jumping up over the fence and catching it.
No.
Here's Roberto Hernandez. He has 3 sacks this year, trying to sacrifice here. And he bunts the foul. It's 0-1. Phillies pitchers were out practicing this today. Not Roberto, but they were trying to work on their bunting. They've been consistent doing that. Ben Revere was out there as well. And he bunts it back toward the mound, so that'll get the runner up to second. Sacrifice is successful. 1-4 on the putout. And the Phillies have one in scoring position for the top of the order. Well, nice job by Roberto Hernandez. That was a pitch that was up too, but he had to try to sacrifice, and he got it. Ben grounded out to shortstop his first time up. And Cologne chases Brignac back.
It'll be interesting to see how the second time around in the order, how Cologne, if he stays with his rhythm. Usually the first time, he's about 90% chance the fastball's coming. Second time, he usually drops down to about 79.5 or 80%. So he starts to mix it in the off-speed pitches.
That is shot foul down the left field line. All right, well, the first two pitches in this at-bat to Revere, both fastballs.
As they should be.
Well, that's true. A varying velocity, too. Yeah, the more you talk about that, the more it makes sense. Revere has one home run. That's it in his major league career. So put the ball in play. See what you can do. Up high, and it's 2-1. Line drive back through the middle, a base hit. Brignac around third. They're going to wave him home. The throw by Dendecker on one hop, and he is out by a wide margin. So a base hit for Revere. He goes to second on the throw. The outfield assists the first for Dendecker on the big league level. That was a perfect throw. He threw it on one hop, and it basically just.
Well, it was a perfect throw. The thing is, Reed had him freeze for a second for a line drive, but then Decker comes out, makes a very solid throw, and that's what they called a dead duck at home plate right there. So he's made a great defensive play in center field with a over the fence catch, now throwing out Reed at home plate.
Well, Revere goes to second. He's now hitting 8 straight. And a pitch outside. It's 1 ball, or no balls and 1 strike. Excuse me. Yeah, that little delay by Brignac. I thought Pete was going to hold him. I really did. You know, you're trying to make some things happen, but he was out by a pretty wide margin. Balls and 2 strikes. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cesar struck out looking his first time up. Carlos and Roberto going over some things before the top of the 4th inning gets underway. And another foul ball. It remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Called strike 3. Hernandez down looking. Side is retired. Phillies did have a chance to score, but Reed Brignac was thrown out by Matt Dendecker. We'll go to the 4th inning. It's the Mets 1 and the Phillies nothing. Around the water cooler. WB Mason offers free same-day delivery of 5-gallon Blizzard spring water bottles with no minimums or hidden fees. Nature's elixir, Matt. It's always good to hydrate. I'm just giving you a word of advice.
And I will listen.
Thank you very much.
Especially that the train trip to Washington.
Well, I don't know if you'll use Nature's elixir on that train trip to Washington, but you'll stay hydrated. We'll know that. No balls and 1 strike to Curtis Granderson. Granderson fly to right, line to right, his first time up. It's 1-0 Mets on top thanks to an RBI double by Lucas Duda. Phillies had a chance to score in their half of the third, but Reed Brignac was thrown out from second base by center fielder Matt Dendecker trying to score. Inside, 2-2. Ruiz hangs on. That ball was dripping out of his glove, and he was still able to hang on to it. Second strikeout for Hernandez, and 1 away here in the 4th.
Toots is looking for a lone away. Right at the spot, and nice job of holding on to the baseball for the strikeout.
So Bobby Abreu doubled and scored his first time up. The first pitch coming to Roberto Hernandez. That's just outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Terry Collins, was talking about Abreu this past weekend, said that he has to be careful, though, not to overuse him, which I guess makes sense. Abreu this past winter was part of a Winter League team in Venezuela, where Dave Hudgens, the former Mets hitting coach, was the hitting coach, and he tried to talk Bobby into going to the Mets originally during the offseason. Bobby decided to go with the Phils, but once the Phils let him know that he wasn't going to make the major league roster, he decided to opt out and go to the Mets and go to their AAA in Las Vegas. And Terry Collins is happy to have him as a left-handed bat off the bench, but now he's giving him a chance to swing the bat a little bit as a starter. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Ground ball to first. And Ryan Howard will make the stroll over to the bag. 2 outs. On Friday, June 27th, the Phillies start a 4-game series against the Atlanta Braves. There's a day-night doubleheader on Saturday the 28th. The first game, it's the Apple Vacations Photo Day presented by Now Resorts and Spas. And then the night game following that is the Xfinity Fireworks post-game show. Sunday the 29th, Rothman Institute Dominic Brown jersey, free to fans 14 and under. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. Lucas Duda doubled his first time up, picked up an RBI. According to Elias, the official statistician of Major League Baseball, Duda had been hitless in 16 consecutive extra inning at bats before yesterday's home run. It's amazing the stats that are kept. And when he gets a home run like that, amazing how it just lights up, says, oh yeah, he was hitless in his last 16 after the 9th. One ball and 1 strike to Duda. Off speed pitch, 1-2. Ball was in and out of the glove of Carlos. See Steve Henderson and Juan Samuel talking a little hitting. Both were good hitters, no doubt about that, during their major league careers. To the right side, and Utley will call off Hernandez and make the play. And the Mets go down in order. So 7 in a row retired by Roberto Hernandez. This side in order for the 3rd time tonight, middle of the 4th. Chase Utley will start things off when we come back. Your local dealer. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Well, Bartolo Colon has allowed a couple of hits so far tonight, but that's pretty much it. I mentioned the Phillies did have a chance in the 3rd to score a run, but they were gunned down at the plate rather easily by Matt Dendecker, the center fielder, who's also robbed Ryan Howard of a home run. Chase Utley fly to right field his first time up. Bobby Abreu is awfully deep out in right field. Utley pops it up. The shortstop Flores makes the call. Here comes Granderson, and he makes the catch. One away. And here comes Howard. Matt, when you were an outfielder, would you prefer playing deeper than usual, or like Bobby Abreu right now, and I know he's on the pull side, he's deep. Granderson's where he should be on the offside. But would you prefer playing deeper or shallower?
When I played right field, I played shallower. Comfort thing. I felt very comfortable going back to my left or right when I was playing right field for some reason, because I had a good read of the ball coming off the bat. But when I played left, I always played deeper.
Even on the offside. Like, let's say there's a lefty up right now. And Granderson's actually pretty deep for Howard, but you would expect that.
You know, it's a comfort zone. I would play a left-hander. I usually took the gaps away. I gave the corners. For me, it was more important to cut off the ball, getting into the gaps in the corners, in the left center, right center, than it was for the lines. that's a guaranteed double. You hit a ball down the line. So
Well,
I played a little different with an open stance. But then again, it's also depending on which way you prefer to go, left or right, if you're going to play deep or not.
I guess the other thing, too, and we've alluded to this before, depending on how a pitcher, what his style is. I mean, you know that Colon is fastball, fastball, fastball. You may change the way you're going to line in the outfield, too.
You will, and it really depends on how you think his location is going to be throughout the night. I've had infielders that will give me signs in the outfield of what's coming, and I would make the movement in the middle of a pitch. So, like Roy Halladay, if he's pitching and he has a game plan, it's going to be sinkers away to left-handers, then you're going to start shading people to left field. You got to trust your pitchers that are going to hit the spot.
3 balls and 1 strike to Howard. And the pitch will have to wait as Colon stops in mid windup. That one's off the foot of Ryan, so he decides to throw him a 3-1 slider. One out in the 4th, 50 pitches. That's not too bad. And ball 4. Howard is the second walk issued by Bartolo Colon. Tonight at 11, the Phillies have the 7th pick of the MLB draft on June 5th, and the son of a former Philly is a top 10 prospect. Tune into Phillies Clubhouse. You can also find out how David Buchanan looks back at the moment his Major League dream came true. All this and more on Phillies Clubhouse, presented by Mercedes-Benz on Comcast Sportsnet. There is David, who will start tomorrow night when the Phillies play the Nationals. They game 1 of their 3-game series. 2 night games and then a day game. It'll be Buchanan, Burnett, and Kendrick for the Phillies in that series. Marlon Byrd watches that one go outside. It's 1-0.
So I go down and talk to Marlon Byrd today, and I said, I've never seen someone take a swing and the bat break. He said, I tested the bat as I was walking up. I tapped it down, sounded perfect. He still doesn't understand how it broke.
Well, so I was wondering, and I meant to ask him about this, and I totally forgot. Does he think it could have been broken before he went up there?
He said he checked. He said everything was fine as he was walking up.
There's a sound, obviously, that a broken bat makes when you tap it. Well, this is what happened. I mean, he wasn't even through with his swing. He wasn't even all the way around with his swing when the bat went flying. Murph, it had to be broken. What do you think?
He doesn't think it was. Apparently, he told Ryan Sandberg that he was pretty sure it wasn't broken when he got up to the plate. Sandberg said that he actually seen that happen one other time. Glenn Allen Hill, he said, back in the day did it. But that was back with those ash bats, which, kind of split down the middle, or at least Glenn Allen Hill's did. But he had never seen one snap off at the handle like Marlon did the other day.
And Marlon's a big guy. He is very strong. Glenn Allen Hill was a big guy. I don't know, maybe there's something to it. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Byrd. Outside 2-2.
A lot of bats are, like my bat was down to the lowest limit I could go for thickness in the handle.
All right, so you wanted a thin bat.
I wanted a thin bat, heavy top, so I had that little whip with my hands, and the bat got to the ball, and it was coming with more weight. But they've done so many things with the bats.
Left side, scooped up by Wright. He had trouble getting it out of his glove, so they'll just get Howard. Yeah, there are 2 outs, a fielder's choice for Bird. And Carlos Ruiz is coming up. Well, the sheer shock on everybody's face, because there was obviously no contact, but and then there was laughter, because I wouldn't think there's many guys out there that have seen anything like that. Carlos reached on a fielder's choice his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. The only run tonight scored in the second for the Mets on a double by Lucas Duda.
I'm not even sure if they make bats with ash anymore.
Well, that's a good question. It was popular for a while. Maple, I could be wrong, but maple was popular for a while.
I was a big fan of the yellow birch from up in northern Quebec, the B45.
Well, you were just helping the commerce of your native land. Had nothing to do at all with the wood.
Well, it actually did, because I found yellow birch was a little softer than, say, maple or ash, but there's a little more flexibility in the ball hitting the bat.
It makes sense then for you if you like to whip it through.
Yep.
You have that flexibility. Now, did you ever use a thicker handle at all?
No.
Was it always a thin handle all the way through?
Always a thin handle. I always used the P72S. And the S stands for the real small knob, because I like to have the way I used to hold the barrel or the bat.
That one's back toward the middle. Flores has it, flips to second, so they get Marlon Bird. Well, we'll talk more about that when we get back. They do still, however, make ash, I'm told, from down in the Phillies clubhouse. So there you have it. We've answered one question. Game than what we've seen during this series, although yesterday's game moved pretty quickly. It's 1-0 Mets on top. All right, Matt, we were talking about the bats and the way some of the bats that you like the yellow birch from Canada, and they do make ash bats. We know that. What were you talking about before we went into the break that you wanted to get through? Well,
what I like is the skinnier the handle, it seems like you have better whip. And now what happens nowadays, a lot of guys will get their hands jammed right down with the bottom of the knob.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when you start swinging through the bat, that knob kind of gets in the way and will protect it, and it'll stop your swing with the whip. I always was the type of guy that liked to have the skinny handle with my hand at an angle this way. So when I was hitting, there was nothing that was blocking my barrel going through the zone. It was a free swing. But getting back with the ash and stuff, me, I like the top-heavy bat. So I always would measure by holding the bat and see where it's going to hold off. See, to me, that's
it needs to be heavier on that end.
Right, so I would like to have the heavy right up in here. So when I got that barrel through the zone, it was coming with whip, and then that's where all the weight was towards the end.
So you literally would put it on your hand like that, and that's how you would.
That's how I would balance
Really?
my bat. I mean, that's to me. If I was balancing, that's a balanced bat throughout. It's
Right,
not
so
top heavy.
but you want top heavy.
I want top heavy, so I want it up here.
And it goes like this.
Right. So for me, that's the where I felt very comfortable with a bat when I was hitting. In other ways, you check a good solid bat. Everyone talks about the grain being, I only have like 4 or 5 grains in this bat. To me, I was always the type of guy that I would always bang the barrel with my palm, and if I heard a long pitch, that meant the bat was extremely hard.
Ground ball foul. And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Did you ever think you'd be swinging a bat in a shirt and tie?
Today was actually probably the first day since I've been broadcasting. I actually felt like going and take batting practice today.
Really?
Yep.
Swing and a miss. Where would the ball have gone if you had done that?
Oof. Probably off my shin.
3 strikeouts for Hernandez. Hernandez will now face Travis d'Arnaud, who he walked intentionally.
But I know the type of person I am, and the first swing I'd probably try to go Powerade.
The third deck?
Oh, yeah. Well, you can't say first couple rows. You're selling yourself short then.
I wouldn't say that. What's the odds that you would hit the Powerade sign?
0.
What's the odds you hit the Budweiser sign?
How many swings will it take?
I'll give you as many swings as you want.
I'll get it.
Really?
Yeah.
Still?
Mm-hmm. Still. Not that old.
Well, you haven't played in a couple of years.
Last year.
Yeah, in a men's league in Canada.
Yeah, well, they're throwing low 90s.
That is true. You did say that.
Tell you that I was overmatched, but.
On the hands. Back over the screen. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Besides, I can bring Potsy in, who throws batting practice for the Phillies.
Right.
He throws that perfect little cutter down and in. Tom, I might even go over. No, I'm not going that far.
I'd be impressed if you hit the Budweiser sign. And I'm not doubting you at all. d'Arnaud is struck out. 4 strikeouts for Hernandez.
I'd be impressed if I could hit to where Marlon Byrd is right now.
Well, he just walked in a few steps. 2 outs, and here is Bartolo Colon. He struck out his first time up with runners on first and third. That was back in the second when the Mets took the 1-0 lead on the double by Duda. 0-1. Two. By the way, Jamie's chirping from California saying he'll throw to you. 0-2 pitch to Colon. Up and in.
I'm not sure if I want Jamie to throw batting practice by the way he threw the first pitch that day. I need something a little lower in the strike zone. And a little more, a little firmer.
Again, he'll have to make a few throws, and I think he'll be fine. Colon thought that was strike 3, by the way. He was walking away. He was content to get his glove and go back out to the mound. Last at bat, he saw 9 pitches. Swing and a miss. Not as many this time, and Hernandez just struck out the side. So he has set down the Mets in order in each of the last 3 innings, including the 5th. We go to the bottom of the 5th. It's still 1-0 New York. Holds the Mets single-season record for shutouts with 8.
Dwight Gooden.
You are correct. Back in 1985. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. Thanks for playing Jeep Stump the Fans. We should get to the point now where, because you answer you give the answers very quickly. I see you writing it down very fast. It'd be great if we get a bell like on Jeopardy, or if something lights up as soon as you have what you think is the answer. It may not be right all the time, but most times it is. Last of the 5th, Dominic Brown will lead it off. It'll be Brown, Brignac, and Hernandez. Dwight Gooden had 23 shutouts in his career with the Mets. Tom Seaver led the way with 44. Seaver, Kuzman, and Matlack at one point. That was a pretty good threesome in that rotation for New York. Before Seaver went on to the Cincinnati Reds. Dominic Brown fouls one into the Hall of Fame club. It's 0-1. Brown grounded out to short his first time up. And it's 0-2. A liner to left field. Granderson. Well, he follows the slice and he makes the catch. MLB.TV is celebrating its 12th year. Join the millions of subscribers. Watch every out-of-market game live in true HD on over 400 devices. Visit Phillies.com for details. Well, here's Brignac, who is now 4 for 10 against Bartolo Colon. Brignac was thrown out trying to score from second on a base hit by Ben Revere back in the 3rd. That's the only scoring threat the Phillies have had today. Colon was a guy that you faced, Matt. What were your thoughts when you faced him when he was at on his heyday, when he was top of the line pitcher with the Indians and the Angels?
He was a guy that pitched the top of the zone. His delivery hasn't changed. The waist size has a little bit.
He was always a big guy, but that is true.
He was, but that's what he had fun. He enjoyed pitching, and he basically threw fastballs. He'd mix in the slider once in a while, the front door sinker, but what you're seeing tonight is what he's done since 1997. And he still throws a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And he's a firm believer of, if I can locate this fastball, I'm going to do it until they prove me wrong.
Just a bit outside, 2-2. Well, we said that he's enjoyed a renaissance for whatever reason, whether it's the transfusion that he had, which, obviously is very controversial. He's been on the suspended list because of testing for high testosterone when he was with the A's. There's a liner to right field, another base hit for Brignac, so he's 2 for 2. And it's a 1-out single. But whatever he's doing, Colon has found sort of the fountain of youth over the last couple of years, and he parlayed it into a very nice contract with the New York Mets for a couple seasons.
Well, he's very durable. He's going to take you deep into games. He's going to make almost all starts. You know what you're going to get from him: strikes, and that's what you look for from a veteran pitcher coming in to throw a lot of strikes.
Hernandez sacrificed his last time, and he bunts that one foul. It's 0-1. Oh for 16 this year is Roberto Hernandez. And he bunts another one foul, and it's 0-2. I don't know about you, but I'd bunt him again.
Oh yeah.
I just, he hasn't shown an ability to get any hits.
His form is pretty good. It's just that last second jab. You got to just keep your weight back, and it's basically up and down with your legs.
Takes outside, 1-2. Right, continues to creep in at third, and he jabbed at it, and he struck out. So there are 2 outs here in the 5th. It's now time for you to tweet your photo using #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast, brought to you by AT&T. With 2 outs, Ben Revere, who is 1 for 2, grounded to short, singled his last time up. Brignac with a short lead off first. Another throw over. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Revere, and he slaps it towards short. Wilmer Flores will flip to second. Side is retired. Well, the Phillies do get another base hit, but nothing to show for it. We've completed our first 5 innings. We go to the 6th. It's 1-0 New York. Philly of the week is back from a tough 2013 that he's putting in his rearview mirror. Entering his 10th major league season, Mike Adams had one thing to prove: that he could return to form as the dominating right-handed reliever he was before arriving in Philadelphia. Once again in 2014, he is in total control, limiting base runners in the middle innings when called upon. Mike is displaying on the mound the reason he holds a stingy career ERA under 2.5. And his stinginess is brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Mike Adams was not available for yesterday's ball game. He should be available for today's game. He's pitched extremely well. And as Matt pointed out during our open tonight, the Phillies bullpen has really done great work during this homestand, aside from, the way the game ended yesterday. But their earned run average is under 2 during this homestand. Can't get much better than that. Matt Dendecker leads it off here in the 6th inning. Top of the order for the Mets. Dendecker's 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's also flied out to center. In the dirt, 1 ball and 1 strike. Dendecker's now 0 for 6 in the big leagues. But tonight he saved 2 runs. With a ball that he went high above the fence over center field to pull back on Ryan Howard earlier. And then when he threw Reed Brignac out trying to score on a base hit by Ben Revere. 3-1 to Dendecker. It'll be Dendecker, Murphy, and David Wright here in the 6th. And a line drive base hit to center field. So Dendecker has his first hit of the year. He was thinking 2 out of the box, particularly with Revere's throws. But Ben did a great job getting that ball fast. Daniel Murphy's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph, what's happening, buddy?
All right, guys. Well, it is time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Frostproof Coors Light. And check out what the Phillies bullpen has been able to do. Since May 22nd, the Phillies have the best bullpen ERA in the National League at 1.60, and the second best in the majors, trailing only the Astros, who are at 1.30 in that same time frame. So they certainly have been good, and as you guys pointed out earlier, very good in its best series.
Well, we talk about it. I mean, it's really been about the offense in a lot of ways. Now, there's been other pieces to the puzzle that haven't quite fit fundamentally, but the offense has really been, I guess you could say, long term. Early on, it was the bullpen, no doubt about it. And aside from Papelbon, who's been very good, but it's really been the offense recently. That's the reason why the Phillies have not been able to pull out wins here at home.
Yeah, and you could try to break it down, and there is a lot of fundamental things that have gone wrong, like we talked in the open with not getting the bunts down or missing the cutoff man or not being aggressive or whatever,
or being too aggressive in the wrong time.
Right. But really, what we see out of the bullpen is what we saw in spring training and what we thought we were going to get early in the season. And when you have 2 left-handers, Hollins and Diekman, that come out of and they're both throwing 94 plus. I mean, that's a weapon. And if Bastardo can figure out to throw some strikes.
That one's out toward right center field. That's going to be in for a hit. Dendecker's on his way to third. Yeah, the Mets will have first and third with nobody out here in the 6th inning. And David Wright is coming up.
But it's just amazing that a little bit of success, the confidence, how far it'll take you, start believing your stuff in your stuff. And really, besides Diekman making the 4 mistakes this year on the sliders, he's pitched unbelievable this year as well.
Now the Phillies will have a meeting on the mound with nobody out, and runners on first and third. And Mario Hollins, to me, has been just refreshing in the way he's come up and been unfazed by everything and has just thrown strikes.
Well, and you can bring him in to face the left-hander, where Bastardo usually does that situation, coming in to face left-handers, and he's been struggling getting left-handers out. It's nice to have 3 lefties in your bullpen, knowing that Diekman can get lefties and righties out. So can Hollins. But you bring him in, and he's going out, and he's not allowing the left-handers to feel comfortable and get good swings.
Phillies have the infield at double play depth with nobody out here in the 6th inning. They concede a run, they'll get a couple outs here, or get 8 outs. Right, with 30 runs batted in overall this season. Phillies have gotten him, with the exception of the game winner the other day, in a lot of these spots during this series. out to center field. That's well hit. Revere on the run. Out toward the track, and it's over his head and off the wall. 2 runs are going to score for the Mets, and Wright will pull in the second with a 2-run double. It's 3-0 New York. Well, as good as Roberto Hernandez has been, or was in the previous 3 innings, that's how rough he's been here in the 6th inning. 3 straight hits.
Yeah, it all comes back to location. Shoots another fastball away. Goes back in the middle of the plate. That's the bottom line. Is hitting your spot and repeating your mechanics and making quality pitches.
Well, David Wright with 2 RBIs on that double. He now has 3 in this 5-game series. Bob McClure out to talk to Roberto Hernandez, who's now at 95 pitches. Now there is Mario Hollins on cue, starting to warm up for the Phils. No balls and 1 strike to Granderson. Fly ball to left. Dominic Brown winds in. One-handed catch. Back to second goes right, and Bobby Abreu's coming up. Bobby, as he came out into the on-deck circle a few moments ago, handed a young fan a baseball bat and got a great round of applause when he did it. And the fan, who's wearing a Phillies shirt, was beyond excited. There he is right there. Look at that, he's beyond excited about that. And what a reaction from the folks who watched him do it. It's an autographed bat. Bobby doubled his first time up and scored, grounded out his last time. Ball and no strikes. The young man is getting high fives now from everybody around that area where he was. Low, and it's 2-0 to Abreu. Pitches so far in this inning. Hernandez retired the side in order in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th. He had set down 10 in a row. And now he's allowed 2 runs here in the 6th inning. And he just walked Bobby Abreu to put 2 runners on. They have shown him a lot of respect during this series. Here comes Duda. Ryan Sandberg's coming up, and that is going to be it. So Mario Hollins is going to come in to face Lucas Duda. So Roberto Hernandez's night is done after 5 1/3. We've got a pitching change, lefty on lefty, coming up when we return to Philadelphia. Miami Marlins. It's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night here at Citizens Bank Park. All 4 games that series are night games. It finishes off with the Xfinity Fireworks post-game show. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com. Top of the 6th, 1 out, 2 on, 2 runs in. And Mario Hollins will take over for Roberto Hernandez. I'll never understand this game, Matt. I mean, he was humming along. His fastball was down, his sinker was down, and then all of a sudden it became hittable.
Like Jamie always talks about, location.
That really was what it was.
Yeah.
It was running into the sweet spot for the hitters.
Right. And instead of having the backdoor sinker to David Wright, staying out over the plate, and that's the dangerous part of throwing to barrels. And what I mean by that is a backdoor sinker from a right-hander is going to come right into the sweet spot. A front door sinker to a left-hander is hard to square up because it starts inside. Slider backdoor comes into the barrel. It's all about location.
Mario Hollins misses inside. It's 1-0 to Lucas Duda. Duda had an RBI double in the second. He grounded out to short his last time up. Fastball on the outside corner, 1-1. Mario Hollins has been a workhorse for the Phillies during this series. He's pitched in 3 of the first 4, now 4 of 5. His earned run average has dropped to 3.15. Yeah, that's outside, 2-1. Ruiz holds it there for a moment. It's tough to always describe the personalities of players. Mario Hollins is an engaging kid. He's a bright kid. He's kept his head down during his stay here as a rookie, and has just worked.
He's listened.
He's listened a lot.
He's watched the game, and that's how he's learning. Very respectful, very quiet, very smart, like you said. By watching the game, he is learning.
Here's the 2-1. Low, ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. He had to challenge him with the count 3-1. Wilmer Flores is on deck. Over to second. Right off the glove of Utley. Wright stops at third. He was thinking about going home. That was a double play ball. And that'll be the 4th error of the season for Chase Utley. I know we said this a couple times about a week or so ago. You just don't see that happen with Chase Utley. This ball is smoked. I mean, this is a routine double play ball.
He almost kind of took it off the left side of his knee and had his head up a little bit and didn't get in front of it enough.
I don't know if he peeked. You know what I mean? If he turned towards second a little with his head. Flores takes outside. It's 1-0. So the Phillies set up for 2 again. 1 ball and no strikes. On the inside corner, 1-1. Wright leads off third. Abreu off second. Duda's off first. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Wilmer Flores. A big spot in the game right here. Yeah, the pitch coming from Hollins. He reaches out and serves it down the right field line, and that will drop for a base hit. 2 runs will score. Duda's being held at third. It's a 2-run double. It's 5-0 New York. It's only the 3rd RBI of the year. 2 and 3 for Wilmer Flores.
That's a pretty good location with the fastball away. 2 strikes he's trying to protect. It's amazing how a lot of good things happen when you put the ball in play. And unfortunately for the Phillies, it was hitting the right spot to get a double.
Well, now they're going to walk Darno intentionally. He's been walked intentionally 5 times in this series. Mario Hollins doesn't look like he's all that comfortable with these intentional walks. I don't know. You better be careful. One of these pitches may come right over the plate. So the bases are loaded for Bartolo Colon, who is 0 for 2. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Well, these runs are charged to the line of Roberto Hernandez. Can't assume the double play, so they're not unearned at this point. And it's 0-2. Swing and a miss, and there are 2 outs. 3rd strikeout of Colon tonight, and now back to the top of the order for Dendecker, the 10th man to come to the plate in this inning. So the Mets have batted around. Dendecker started this rally with a single to right center field off Roberto Hernandez. First pitch is over. It's 0-1. Well, during that span, the Phillies have only won 1 game. They're 1-8, of course, not counting this one here tonight, during that span in which the Mets have outscored them by that wide a margin here at Citizens Bank Park. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch to Dendecker way outside, 1-2. Tapper foul, and it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. .21 pitches for Hollins in this inning. Now, you talked about location with Hernandez. His location has not been bad in this inning.
No, and he's that down the way fastball.
So there you go. He comes back with a breaking ball, but his location was not bad. But the Mets wind up scoring 4 runs. All 4 runs are charged to the line of Roberto Hernandez. The Mets leave them loaded here in the 6th. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 5-0 New York. Get to your local Nissan store for the ride of your life and save big today. By Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. And by WB Mason, you can't go wrong when you buy right. 5-0 Mets on top. By the way, in that inning, 4 runs, 3 are earned. So the line on Roberto Hernandez is 5 runs, 4 earns. And 5 1/3. Cesar Hernandez will lead it off for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 6th. Hernandez is 0 for 2. Well, Colon is, at least back in when he was pitching with the Indians and the Angels, was always a very good front runner as a power pitcher. I mean, he's won 193 games. He's going to finish his career, unless there's an injury of sorts in the next couple of years, he's going to finish with 200 wins.
Over 2,000 strikeouts.
And how about this year? You know, he's walked the 2 batters here tonight, which is absurd considering how his control has been this year. He's only walked 9 guys. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Hernandez. Three balls and 1 strike. Three balls and 2 strikes to Cesar. And there's ball 4. So 3 walks tonight for Bartolo Colon. And now Chase Utley's coming up. As promised earlier in the game, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. This photo comes from Bob Bentz. Oh, great shot of the Fanatic. Fanatic throwing some popcorn around, it looks like. Tweet your photo to #PhillyFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Utley's flied to right, and he's flied to left. First pitch is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. And now 2-0 to Chase. Ryan Howard's on deck, then Marlon Byrd here in the bottom of the 6th. And that one's pulled toward right field. That'll be in for an extra base hit. A 1-hop off the wall. Hernandez flying to third. And Utley will pull into second. It's his league-leading 23rd double of the year. And the Phillies have 2 in scoring position to start the bottom of the 6th.
Well, Chase is sitting with a fastball count. Ball comes back over the middle of the plate, drives it down the right field line. And I was wondering when a ball was going to be hit down there, considering they play so far over in right center when he's hitting.
I have to say their scouting reports have been favorable during this series. That may have been the first time that it wasn't favorable where they were. But it's kind of what you said, though, before, Matt, when you played, you pinched the gaps and gave them the line, because that, I don't know if any right fielder would have come up with that one. He still would have been a double. Ryan Howard is 0 for 1. He walked his last time. They call that last pitch a strike. Inside, 1-1. Well, we mentioned this before. Some of the home runs the Phillies have had in this series have brought them closer. But eventually, many of them have given them a chance to take the lead or tie the game. This will at least get a run home. An RBI for Howard. Over to third goes Utley. Across the plate comes Hernandez, and the Phillies are on the board. It's a 5-1 game. .33 RBIs now for Howard.
Well, it might not be the result he wanted. He probably wanted to drive the ball in the outfield. But when you're down 5-0, you have to pick away at the total of 5-0. Play small ball, get him over, get him in. Now rely on Marlon Byrd to bring in Chase from third base.
With nobody out. By the way, it's 40 RBIs for Ryan Howard. I can't read my own handwriting. So he's got 40 RBIs. And Byrd 0 for 1 with a walk. They're giving the Phillies the run. All right, now Utley's over at third. This, Matt, is what we were talking about before. This is how you lead off third base. This is the lead, the secondary lead, the way you go back is the way Chase Utley does it over at third. Outside. I mean, he comes down the line and then curls back on the infield grass. So if there is a throw, he's in the way of that throw. And a line drive towards center field, and Dendecker makes the catch. And Utley's back to third. So 2 outs, and Carlos Ruiz is the batter. All right, Matt, now explain this to me. This ball's hit hard.
Well, the ball's hitting the line, so you're not real sure if he's going to get down or not for a base hit. But we've seen that he has a tremendous arm in center field. Right, and even though Marlon Byrd is a little frustrated of Chase not tagging, it's a situation that's 5-1. The last thing you want to do is get thrown at the home plate. Right? He wasn't very shallow in the center field.
He was shallow.
He was shallow. I'm sorry. He was shallow in center field.
All right. See, because I thought Chase go back to third, tag, and then So you don't think he would have even tried to score anyway because they're down 5-1?
I don't think so. No, I think if he did go back and tag and started going to home plate, he's going to read the throw, or Pete's going to come down the line and be his eyes for him and hold him up and say yes or no.
Carlos Ruiz is 0 for 2. And it's outside, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And the reaction from Marlin is that he thought it would have at least been a sac fly. Chopper back toward the middle, and the Phillies, as long as Flores makes this throw over, and he does, and a scoop by Duda, will leave one over at third. They do get a run on the ground out by Ryan Howard. We've played 6. We go to the 7th. It's 5-1 Mets. Well, time now for the local Honda dealers game summary. It's 5-1 Mets on top. They scored 4 in the 6th inning. David Wright, Wilmer Flores, each with a couple RBIs in this ball game, backing the pitching of Bartolo Colon, who just gave up his first run in 16 1/3 innings. So 5-1 New York on top. And Daniel Murphy is coming up. And he fouls the first pitch back. And it's 0-1. Murphy singled in the 6th. And then came around to score. The Mets, as we said, scored 4 in the inning. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Liner out towards short, caught by Cesar Hernandez, and there's one away here in the 7th inning. Excuse me. Well, going back to the bottom of the 6th inning, Marlon Byrd at the plate. Utley's at third. 1 man down. Marlon, he smoked this ball.
He did. He drove it to center field, and right there, Chase got caught off. He was a little too far. Wasn't sure if it was coming, going to drop, be caught. We talked about Ben Revere the other day when he did the bases loaded. All right. Chase made the mistake of taking too big of a secondary lead. He should have went back and tagged. that's not saying that you're automatically going to go, because the center fielder isn't very shallow. He's coming full speed.
Is shallow.
Is shallow. I keep on saying isn't very shallow. He is shallow. Full speed coming in and has a tremendous arm. So the mistake that was made was Chase probably should have went back automatically
and tagged, but he probably wouldn't have scored.
He probably wouldn't have scored.
Or he wouldn't have attempted to score.
Unless Pete tells him you're going no matter what. So there's a lot of communications going on there.
And you said down 4 also. That's the big thing as well. Well, I think that's good. I think what you said, because watching the play and then watching the replay, Dendecker was more shallow than I thought watching it live. And I think what he did earlier by throwing the runner out at home, you are a little sheepish. That one's floated out toward right center, and a drop in front of Bird, so a single for David Wright. These lucky fans are today's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal. And that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank, good banking is good citizenship. And now Granderson is 0 for 3. He's flied out twice, and he has struck out. Philippe Almont warming up in the pen. Phillies play Granderson to pull on the infield. Left side is shaded toward the middle. They've been working on Mario since spring training, holding runners on. Kind of throws it over there the way he was throwing the 4 intentional pitches earlier. 1-2 pitch, right goes, pitch is taken outside, throw to second is in time. Beautiful throw by Carlos Ruiz. That's one of his best throws in the last 3 weeks. And give Hollins credit, he got it home and fast enough where he could make that throw.
Well, and Chooch, we talked, he wasn't very happy with his footwork the last few weeks, and he's been out doing some extra throwing, and you see right there, nice and quick exchange, other glove, and threw David Wright at second base.
And Howard will take care of Granderson with Hollins covering, so 3-1 on a putout. No runs, 1 hit. Nobody left. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia. The Phillies trailed the Mets 5-1. 7th. It's 5-1 New York on top. And it'll be Dominic Brown, Reed Brignac, and then the pitcher's spot with Cesar Jimenez warming up in the bullpen for the Phillies. First pitch is over for strike. It's 0-1. Ground ball right side. Brandon Murphy to a knee. Well, there's been a lot of attention focused on center field for the Mets, and here are Hyundai defensive plays of the game.
Yeah, Den Decker does a very good job of going back and finding the fence, timing it perfectly, robbing a home run from Ryan Howard. And then you can see how happy Colon is. And all of a sudden, again, Rivera gets up, base hit the center field, charges the ball hard, goes to strike the home plate. Out by a mile. Those are brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Well, Den Decker's played a role in tonight's ball game. He also has scored a run. So one away here in the bottom of the 7th. Reed Brignac is up. Tony Gwynn Jr. is in the on-deck circle. Fly ball down the left field line and out of play. There's Tony. And a called strike 3. And now 2 outs. Brignac did not think that was a strike, and Tony Gwynn will be the pinch hitter for the Phillies.
This has become the favorite pitch to left-handed hitters, that front door sinker. And Brignac thought it was inside. Ball came back for a strike, but he also struck out Hernandez back-to-back times, looking with the exact same pitch.
I think it's a great pitch against left-handers if you can control it. I mean, we've watched it for years. Greg Maddux, Kevin Millwood for the Atlanta Braves. Here, I thought it made Vance Worley's season when he was up with the Phillies for before being traded to the Twins, when he was able to throw that 2-seamer. Kyle Kendrick, I thought, had a good 2-seamer that was really unhittable against left-handers last year in the first half of the season.
It's just a pitch that left-handers give up. And even if you know it's coming, it's hard to pull the trigger to swing at it.
Outside, 1-1 to Gwynn. Now, Gwynn is 0 for his last 14. He has 1 hit at this juncture of the game and deeper so far this season. Matt talked about how Colon has been durable during his career, or at least in the early part of his career. It has been also these last couple of seasons. Two balls and 2 strikes. 10 ground outs for Colon tonight. Yeah, the 2-2 pitch. Slaps it foul toward the Hall of Fame club. there it is again on the inside corner. 5 strikeouts tonight for Cologne. Phillies go down in order in their half of the 7th. We go to the 8th inning here in Philadelphia. The Mets are up by 4. Delaware Valley Honda. Visit your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer. ShopHonda.com. Buy McDonald's. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's. I'm loving it. And by Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. The Mets scored 4 in the 6th inning. They took a 5-0 lead. Phillies scored a run in their half of the 6th. Time now for the winning box score, brought to you by Subway. David Wright has a 2-run double tonight. Bobby Bray, who scored a couple runs. Wilmer Flores also has a 2-run double. Bartolo Colon, see him in the 9-hole. He may be done. We'll have to wait and see. Dana Evelyn was warming up in the bullpen. Here's Cesar Jimenez. He pitched a scoreless inning in yesterday's ball game. He allowed a hit in his 1 inning of work. And he'll face Bobby Abreu, Lucas Duda, and Wilmer Flores here in the 8th. Out toward left field, Dominic Brown to the line. And 1 pitch, 1 away here in the 8th inning. Now this is what was going on in between innings. Dan Warthen talking to Bartolo Colon. I would think he's going to go back out there. I don't know. I mean, he's got 7 innings. They've got a 4-run lead. He's just over 100 pitches. Doesn't look like he's really working all that hard out there.
Well, no, and especially his last 4 pitches, 3 of them were at 93 miles an hour, and 1 was at 92. So it doesn't look like he's getting tired.
First pitch to Duda is a strike. It's 0-1. Duda is 1 for 3. Reached on an error by Utley his last time up. Will appeal. No swing, says Brian Onora. So Colon's back out. It looks like he's going to go back out to pitch the 8th inning. Two balls and 2 strikes to Lucas Duda. And there's ball 4. So 1 out walk. And that'll bring Flores to the plate. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph, take it away.
All right, thanks, Tom. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy University, and the Boston Red Sox have a new face in their lineup, and it turns out to be a familiar one. Stephen Drew made his season debut for Boston tonight after re-signing with the team 2 weeks ago. It'll be his first appearance with the Red Sox since being on that squad. In Game 6 of last year's World Series, he is 0 for 2 so far in that game. And how about former Phillies farmhand Jonathan Singleton, now a member of the Houston Astros, has just been called up from AAA, and on the same day signed to a new 5-year contract. He's guaranteed $10 million, but the contract could be worth as much as $30 million. It's the biggest contract for a player who has never appeared at the major league level before. Jonathan Singleton, of course, was traded from the Phillies to the Astros in the Hunter Pence deal, guys.
It's remarkable that we've never seen this before, something like this. Now, the Pirates tried to do it, according to reports, with Gregory Polanco, their top prospect, who's now in AAA, and they'll probably call him up in the next month or so. The Astros have George Springer, who you would think they would try to do something like this with, but as Murph said, it's the first guy to do this. It's amazing that he's done everything in the minor leagues, Matt, and now he's gotten all this quote-unquote guaranteed money.
Well, it's a great move for the Astros, because now you're offering this money to this young kid, thinking, okay, now I don't have to work a day in my life again. And if you really, it's tough to turn down if you got your next 5 years are taken care of.
Yeah, he'll become a free agent, Murph. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this contract officially runs out with all the options and everything like that. He'll still only be 30 years old.
Yeah, he'll still be very young. And we should point out, too, that the options are the team options at the back end of that contract. I believe it's the final 2 years of that 5-year deal are both team options. So it does sit very well for the Houston Astros. It's a good way to lock up some good young talent and do it probably for less than you would have to a couple years from now.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. By the way, the Astros first baseman this year, and this is one of the reasons why they're ready to bring Singleton up, who's already in double digits in home runs. They're hitting under 200. That's a power spot in the lineup. They're hitting about 180. Last time I looked at it was like 4 or 5 days ago. They were hitting 181. Check swing. That's a good pitch. I thought it was a good pitch. Fly ball, shallow right. Long run for Utley. That's a fair ball. Throw to second is in time to get Duda. 9-6 on the putout. It's a good job by Marlon Byrd being right there to make that play.
Yeah, it is. And that's that ball. It's no man land. It's almost impossible for the first baseman to get back, of course. Chase plays up the middle. Marlon Byrd was playing more right center, but getting to that ball and heads up, throwing to second base to get in the force out.
So with 2 outs and a runner at first. There's Darno. He's been walked intentionally twice. Yeah, that's high. 1-0. Ground ball to shortstop. And Hernandez goes to Utley, and the side is retired. 6-4 on the putout. The 8th inning comes to a close, but Bartolo Colon heading back out to the mound to face the Phils, top of the order when we return for the bottom of the 8th. Fanatic Rewards, the new fan loyalty program for Phillies fans everywhere. It's free to join. Earn points for engaging with us on social media using the At the Ballpark app, activity on Phillies.com, and much more. Redeem points for tickets, merchandise, and exclusive experiences. Go to Phillies.com/fanatical rewards to sign up. Bottom of the 8th inning, Bartolo Colon delivers a strike to Ben Revere. Revere's 1 for 3. Outside, 1-1. Familia's the right-hander. Dana Evelin's the lefty. Mets have won the last 3 games that Colon has pitched. He's won the last 2. And he's been able to go 7 innings in those 2. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. And that'll be a base hit for Revere to right center field. It's his 2nd hit of the night. And here comes Cesar Hernandez. Ryan Sandberg's team trying to finish up this homestand with 5 wins. They are 4-6 right now. Terry Collins' team has taken 3 of the first 4 in this series. Last 3 games have gone into extra innings. You know, there's people in the Mets dugout wondering, is that throw nearly got Revere? And he got back ahead of the tag. You know, those people in the Mets dugout thinking, all right, last 3 have been extra innings. They've been weird. You know, this happened, that happened. Phillies were down 4-0. They were down 3-0. Now they're down 5-1 in this one. There's a line drive to left. It'll float in for a base hit. Revere stops at second. And the Phillies have the first 2 runners on here at the bottom of the 8th inning. You played the game, you know that that's on the mind of some folks in that dugout from a superstitious standpoint.
Well, for sure. And you're probably sitting there going, okay, here we go again. And what next? You know, and back-to-back good at bats by Ben and Hernandez, and now they're forced to go to the bullpen and make some changes. And once you get to the bullpen, you never know what's going to happen.
All right, so Terry Collins is going to make a double switch here. Nobody out here at the bottom of the 8th inning. The first 2 runners have gotten on base. Tuesday, June 10th, when the Phillies open up the series against the San Diego Padres, a free Chase Utley bobble figurine free to all fans Compliments of Pico. Order tickets now by going to Phillies.com. There is that bobble figurine. Sunglasses, dirt on pants, the whole thing. Curtis Granderson will slide over to right field for the Mets, and the new center fielder is number 1 right there, Chris Young, or new left fielder, I should say. Dendecker stays in center field, and Dana Eveland will be the new pitcher for the Mets. Eveland last pitched in the big leagues in 2012. All the major league teams he was with. Arizona thought that he was going to be a commodity when they had him. Down in the minor leagues, he made 8 starts, 12 appearances overall. He has 19 career wins and 25 losses in the big leagues. And Chase Utley will be the hitter with 2 runners on. Chase doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Bartolo Colon just sits and watches. The 2 runners on base are his responsibility. Numbers against lefties. These runners in scoring position average is very high when there's nobody out. And he fouls it back. And there's nobody out here, and they count 1 ball and 2 strikes. .394 when it's less than 2 outs with runners in scoring position. Overall, he's a .286 hitter with runners in scoring position. Two balls and 2 strikes. Trying to get that tying run to the plate. Familia still throws in the Mets bullpen. Diekman's throwing in the Phillies bullpen. Runners lead off. 3 balls, 2 strikes. High fly ball to center field. Dendecker's going back. Revere goes back to tag. Dendecker makes the catch. The throw goes towards second. Now the Phillies have first and third with 1 man down and Ryan Howard coming up.
For a fastball away or a slider away. Seems like there's a cutter up in the zone, and Chase just out in front of him just a little bit, but heads up base went up by Benton going back to second base and tagging and going to third base. What that does now leaves a big hole at first base for Ryan to try to hit down first.
Well, Ryan does have the RBI tonight. It came on a ground out his last time up. Then Revere, a big lead over third. This is the situation we saw the other day when Utley was trying to tell him, take a big lead, take a bigger lead. Now takes a strike. It's 0-1. I mean, David Wright's nowhere near the third base bag, and Fred Revere simply can go as far as he wants, as we talked about the other day. And Wright just moved over toward the middle. I mean, they're not even blinking an eye with Ben Revere. Oh, 2. He really can go even farther if he wants to.
Yeah, we just got to be careful. Make sure you get back to third base on a sac fly.
It's a very good point. I didn't even think about that part. It remains 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Howard. And he's down on strikes. There are 2 outs. Terry Collins is coming out. That's going to be it for Eveland. He gets the 2 batters, the 2 lefties in this spot. And with the right-hander Marlon Byrd due up, they'll go to Familia to try to get the last out here in the bottom of the 8th. Bank Park, and Chevrolet is going to sponsor the Phillies Fedora, which will be given out to men 15 and older. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com for the Phillies and the Cubs. Home half of the 8th inning, the Phillies have runners on first and third. They have 2 men down, and they'll bring in Juris Familia to face Marlon Byrd. And Carlos Ruiz is on deck. Familia, 27th game. 1-2, an ERA of 2.86. Byrd has walked tonight. Good his choice in the 4th, and then lined out sharply his last time up. Ben Revere is over at third. Cesar Hernandez is at first. Normal alignment with the infield. Ball gets away, and here comes Revere. He's going to be able to coast home. It's a 5-2 ball game. Hernandez goes to second. So a wild pitch.
Not much you can do right there. It's about a 50-foot slider, and Butterfield scores from third base very easily.
Let's see if the Phillies can get this next run home just to make it interesting. They're down 5-2. That run is charged to the line of Bartolo Colon.
Kind of interesting that they didn't appeal the swing.
Yeah, they didn't ask for any kind of thoughts of the first base umpire, Corey Blazer. Inside 2-0.
There's that first pitch.
Oh, yeah, he went.
Yeah. I think everyone got caught up on watching where the ball was going and forgot to appeal the call.
In the air to left field. Chris Young is out there toward the track, and he makes the catch, and the side is retired. So the Phillies do get another run on a wild pitch. We've completed 8. The line is closed on Bartolo Colon, and we'll go to the 9th here at Philly. Analysis of today's homestand finale against the Mets, only on Pure Auto Insurance presents Phillies Postgame Live. We go to the top of the 9th inning. It's a 5-2 ball game. The Mets are on top. Well, as we said at the start of this homestand, the Phillies had hoped to play way better than 500 here on the homestand. Longest homestand of the year, 11 games. Jake Diekman in his 27th ball game will take over. Two with a 3.81 ERA. Well, it hasn't turned out to be that way as far as the homestand goes. The Phillies are 4-6, and on the verge of, if they don't come back in the bottom of the 9th inning, of finishing at 4-7. So here's Diekman. He'll face Chris Young. Chris Young up for the first time. And it's 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Henry Mejia looks like he's going to close it out for New York. He's warming up right now. 3-0. Look at the reaction of everybody behind the screen. At least the two guys to the left. The one guy was yawning, so that stopped that. Yeah, there's ball 4, so he just walked Young on 4 pitches. And now to the top of the order for Dendecker. Every time the Phillies pitchers retired the opposition 1-2-3, which Roberto Hernandez did 4 times tonight, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Decker bunts, and that'll roll foul. And it's 0-1. Well, this is a big inning. 3-run deficit, although where the Phillies offense has swung the bats, may look huge, but in the grand scheme of baseball, it's still an attainable ball game. Got to get the outs though here. It's 0-1 to Dendecker. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Strike 3. I think he's found the strike zone, Matt.
Well, I think it really helped by attempting to bunt that first pitch. It was up in the zone, and I don't know if it kind of woke up Diekman a little bit, but you see right here, Harold set it up away for a fastball, and at 97, unhittable. I was really surprised that he got the barrel on that bunt after that one went to the backstop.
Yeah.
I'm taking a pitch as a lefty.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-1. Murphy's 1 for 4, 2 for 23 in the series. And Ryan Howard some work on his scoops over at first base. That one's outside, 1-1. Well, Diekman getting some work here tonight, but as we said, it could be important work if the Phillies are going to have a chance. In their half of the ninth, they'll have Ruiz, Brown, and Brignac. Those are the scheduled hitters. And a line drive base hit it to center field for Murphy. Young is around second, heading to third. The throw goes to second. First and third with one man down. There's no righty warming up in the bullpen for the Phillies, so this is Diekman's to face David Wright. And this is not an oddity. He's done this all year long.
I'd walk him.
To load up the bases?
Yep, take a chance with Granderson.
And then the pitcher's spot is up after Granderson. Well, Bob McClure's going to the phone, so they are going to get somebody up. And it will be Almont, who was throwing earlier. right? Has a couple hits tonight. He's driven in 2. That was part of that 4-run 6th inning. Well, he's got right dancing right now.
And people might disagree with me saying walk him, but you have a guy up there who's been a Phillies killer his whole life. He's hit well in this ballpark. He usually comes to in this situation, but I understand Diekman does have that strikeout stuff.
Well, tonight, we joked that when he got Dendecker that he found his command, but he's kind of lost it again for these last couple of hitters. Now it's 3-0 to David Wright. He might be swinging 3-0. Well, he's loaded up the bases with 2 walks and a single in this inning. And now Granderson's coming up. Time now for our WB Mason deliveries of the game. All 2 base hits for the Mets.
Fastball inside that came back over the middle of the plate. Duda drove it off the wall for a double scoring Bobby Abreu. And David Wright driving the ball to deep right center field just out of the reach of Ben Revere. And made it 3-0 in that situation right there. Then Flores with the protection swing down the right field corner. Make it 5-0 for the Mets.
So those are WB Mason deliveries of the game. It's now 5-2, and the bases are loaded for New York. Phillies will play the infield in for Curtis Granderson. Granderson, his average is under 200. That is a lot of at bats. He's got 194 at bats. While Mott is warming up, Campbell's on deck. And the pitch is low. It's 1-0. Right side, passed up, lead into right field. 1 run is in, rounding third, heading from is Murphy. The throw by Bird sails up the line. And it's now a 7-2 ball game. And Granderson gets a couple RBIs.
The infield in. Didn't hit it real hard, just hitting the right spot. It was a topper that went through, and Brown broke him up. And just out of the reach of Chase.
Oh, and here comes Ryan Sandberg out, so that'll be it for Diekman. His night is done. He's responsible for the 2 base runners on first and third. And Eric Campbell's been introduced as a pinch hitter, so Philippe Almont's going to come into this ball game. Phillies down by 5. It's a 7-2 game here in the top of the ninth. Game with the Phillies down 7-2 with runners on first and third. He's on for Jake Diekman. That's what Almonte yesterday. He was charged with the loss. They give the 2-run home run to Lucas Duda in the 11th inning. So as he warms up, Eric Campbell's been introduced as a pinch hitter for the Mets. And he's batting for Familia. Carlos Torres has started to throw in the bullpen for New York, so Henry Mejia is now sat down since this is no longer a save situation. There is Torres. David Wright's over at third. Curtis Granderson's over at first. And here's Campbell, 294 hitter. He has 10 hits and 34 at-bats. Utley's in on the right side. Hernandez is back at double play depth on the left side. First pitch is low, 1 ball and no strikes. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, it's gone final. The Marlins defeated the Rays 3-1. Randy Wolf gets the win. He went 6 innings tonight. It's his the first win for Wolf since 2012. And the Rays have lost 7 straight. Two 2-0. Campbell may take 2 pitches here with Almont's control the way it is. Although he's a pinch hitter who was a good hitter in the minor leagues, he may think, all right, he's going to groove another fastball. If he does, I can't afford to take it. 3-1 pitch coming to Campbell. And there's ball 4. So the bases are loaded. And Lucas Duda is coming up. He of the 2-run home run yesterday against Philippe Almond. Well, around the division with Miami's win, that means they're 2.5 behind Atlanta because Atlanta was off tonight. Stopped the 3-game losing streak for the Marlins. Phillies are going to Washington to take on the Nationals. The Nationals also off tonight. They're 1 game under 500. If the Mets win here tonight, and they're up 7-2, they're going to pull into a tie for 3rd place. One ball and 1 strike to Duda.
If Felipe can figure out the strike zone with his movement of his cutter, his fastball, he's big, he's tall, he jumps at you. It'd be very interesting.
But can he figure out the strike zone? I mean, he's been given a lot of opportunities. He's been vocal in past years about his displeasure about being sent down, but unfortunately this is what you run into a lot of times with Philippe, even with all of his stuff. And you know, he had a run last year where stuff was really good for a period of time. Two balls and 2 strikes to Duda. And 3-2. Philippe's a confident guy, but I would think all these issues, the control issues, I mean, he's out there right now. You can't set it aside. I don't know how you can as a human being. And Duda's down on strikes. Well, maybe that's how you do it. I mean, that ball had some movement. I mean, he swung the ball forward, but that ball had some movement on it. But again, can he repeat it?
Well, and that's just it. And Duda did help out big time, and he does have tremendous stuff. And sometimes you got to sit back and look in the mirror and say, okay, you know what? I need to figure this out. Why I'm walking so many people.
Yeah.
Well, his control wasn't very good in spring training. The minors to work on it.
Control wasn't good in the minors either.
So there's.
Now Wilmer Flores. He's 1 for 4. And that one's low. It's 1-0.
Wonder when people have success, and does it go to their head too much and think they got the game figured out and stop working at what had success in?
I think for some people it does. I don't think that happens with Ahmad, but I think for some people it probably does. I think it's in any walk of life. You just assume, okay, I've made it. I don't have to work at it. I can just show up every day and, you know, and not work on my craft at all. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Outside, 3-1. Well, it's been nearly 20 games since the Mets last scored 7 runs. They have 7 runs on 9 hits tonight. In the air to left field. That ball is crushed. A grand slam for Wilmer Flores of all people. And it's an 11-2 ball game. First home run of the year, the first home run for Flores since August of last year.
Well, you get behind the count, the bases loaded, and you get a cookie down and in fastball. And that's what major league hitters do, is when you get, I don't care if you hit 1 home run or 200 home runs, you get a fastball inside and hit a big grand slam.
11-2 New York. Darno's the batter, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1. Two major league home runs for Flores. Chopper to third, big hop for Brignac. Side is retired. They bat around for the second time in this ball game. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. What was a 5-2 game is now 11-2 in favor of the Mets. Thought about extra innings when this game began for a fourth consecutive night. Going to be a tough one to get to here. Phil's down by 9. And the Mets will give the ball to Carlos Torres, his 30th game, 2-2, with a 2.45 ERA. And he will face Carlos Ruiz, Dominic Brown, and Reed Brignac. Well, there's no sugarcoat in this one. I mean, the score, and if you've watched any of the game tonight, it tells a whole lot of the story. It's been a frustrating homestand for the Phillies. It's been a frustrating series against the Mets for the Phillies. And tonight's a topper, as they trail at 11-2. 6 runs in the 9th inning for New York. Four runs allowed by Jake Diekman, and 4 of the runs were charged to Diekman, and it is a career high, ties a career high. So Ruiz will dig in. Torres will go to work. Ruiz 0 for 3. Fielder's choice. His first time up, popped out his second time up, and grounded out to shortstop his last time to the plate. One to Carlos. Opposite way, 2-2. You know, we say the Phillies have to turn the page of the next game. They're going to have to go get a new book. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be when they go on this road trip to take on the Nationals and then the Reds. Broke his bat, floated out toward the left side. It's caught by Flores, 1 away. He destroyed his bat on that one. So 1 gone here in the 9th, and that'll bring Dominic Brown up.
That thing just went right down the middle. Usually the barrel breaks and goes flying, but that thing went right down the middle for almost like a weapon, for like a little sword.
Brown takes on the outside corner, 0-1. I think when it hits the end of the bat, you must feel it big time. And you break it like that. That's back toward the middle. Murphy's got it. Brown is safe at first. I would think when you splinter it like Ruiz, is there any bees in your hand on that one?
Yeah, I used 3 bats my last 2 years with the B45s.
Really?
Yep.
What about before that? I mean,
there were always the Rawlings bats, and I used Louisville.
But did you ever feel like, did you ever splice it like that he just did? No. You're going to get a text from Jamie soon. He's going to tell you that if he throws your BP, that he's going to break your bat like that. Here's Brignac with Brown over at first. And it's outside, 1-0.
But also, I never used a cupped end of a bat, which you'll see a lot of bats will splinter down the middle because of that.
Foul ball, and it's 1-1.
And I also used a unfinished bat as well.
Now, why would you do that?
I didn't like using the black bat because I saw where the foul balls were so close to the label that it was kind of depressing.
So it was all psychological.
Yep.
Huh. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brignac. Mayberry's out on deck. To the opposite way, right to his right, throws to second for 1, over to first in time and around the horn. 5-4-3 double play, and this series comes to a close. The Mets have taken 4 of 5 from the Phillies, and tonight's the topper. It's an 11-2 victory. So the Phillies will hit the road limping after a 4-7 homestand, as their struggles continue here in Philadelphia. Bartolo Colon, who got the victory tonight for the Mets, went 7+ innings. He is our Chevrolet player of the game.
Yep. In the first pitch, you saw strike after strike. Had that front door sinker working, the nice little 2-seamer away. Getting some solid defense behind him as well. Just once again, come up that front door sinker back to back. He just had complete control of that sinker all night. Got Tony Gwynn Jr. looking as well.
So he's our Chevrolet player of the game. Colon is now 5-5 on the season with his victory here tonight for the New York Mets. We'll take a break and be back to wrap things up right after this.